This is a story about how Minecraft's biggest server API was betrayed and shut down by the company whose online community they helped create. From thousands of servers and millions of players to zero in less than a week, the story of Bukkit is a sad one, and many people point to this moment as the end of an era. So allow me to take a few moments of your time to share the story of its downfall. Quick intermission. As you would know from my previous video, I am making a series about the history of Minecraft's online community, from the very beginning till the newest developments in server software. As the fall of Bukkit is a very major event, this video will be referenced in upcoming videos and episodes. So if you want to dive into this subcultural history lesson with me, feel free to subscribe right now. So, what was Bukkit? Well, Bukkit was an open source Minecraft server. While it was not the first software created to host Minecraft players, it was the first organized project in its history. It being open source, the Bukkit team accepted code contributions for the first year of its creation. Over time, more Bukkit servers were used than official servers put up by Mojang, for one simple reason: plugins. Bukkit provided a foundation for developers to create plugins, and it was on this foundation that popular plugins like World Edit, World Guard, and of course Essentials were born. In addition to that, Bukkit allowed for some basic performance tweaks. These factors combined made Bukkit immensely popular by server hosts and Minecraft enthusiasts alike. With at its peak, more than 100,000 servers using the software. This success did not go unnoticed by Mojang, who at Minecon 2011 set up a meeting with the Bukkit team to discuss the big problem looming over the project. At the Minecon meeting, one big issue was at the center: Mojang's own code. See, while Bukkit was open source, in order to actually function, it reverse engineered some code from the game itself to build its server and API. This reverse engineered code is the problem, as that was Mojang's copyrighted material. While they liked what the Bukkit team was doing, Mojang did not like the way they were doing it, so they proposed a solution. Mojang would buy the Bukkit project and allow its code to be used. The team behind the project felt like they had no other option and accepted, with 4 people going to work for Mojang, improving its own server software, and only Evil Seth remaining at Bukkit as its spearhead. Things went well for many years, with the majority of players being unaware that they were sitting on a ticking time bomb. While Bukkit was still open source, being reiterated upon for years, many people either forgot or straight up didn't know Bukkit was owned by Mojang. Then in 2014, the big bomb dropped. Mojang changed its eula. Now, I already made a video going over the specifics of what and why the eula was changed and its side effects. You can watch it here right now. But the TLDR is, Mojang changed it so you could no longer make money from servers, pushing the whole online community into a death spiral, as servers could no longer pay for the actual hardware to stay afloat. The future looked bleak for the online community, with tensions running high. On August the 21st, the unexpected happened. Evil Seth, the Bukkit lead who stayed with the project, announced Bukkit would shut down indefinitely. But an hour later, the true bombshell hit. After the shocking announcement of Bukkit's demise, Jeb, the lead dev at Minecraft, and a shocking lookalike of me, snapped back in a tweet saying, "Warren over at Bukkit seems to have forgotten that the project was bought by Mojang over 2 years ago, and it isn't his to discontinue." This came as a major shock for everyone involved, as it was revealed that the Bukkit people hired by Mojang had given up their personal rights to their open source contributions when they signed their contract with Mojang, exposing Bukkit to be a sham project. What people assumed to be a community-driven project to better the player's experience turned out to be owned by a multi-million-dollar company whose only contribution was that they allowed their code to be used. This revelation did not sit well with one specific member of the Bukkit team, who, after finding out his years of volunteering work was all for one of the biggest gaming companies in the world, essentially working for them for free, they filed a DMCA takedown request on all of their personal contributions to the Bukkit project. With over 15,000 lines of code needing to be removed, the Bukkit team just decided to take down the entire server's software as a whole, and in a few hours, all the source code, roughly 3 times more than Mojang's own server software, disappeared from the internet. Sadly, this decision was not without its side effects, as this was not only the end of Bukkit, but the end of an entire community. This included other projects like Spigot a fork of Bukkit, who had to work around the DMCA request in order to stay functional. The biggest shock came not from the players or the contributors though, but rather it came from the people who made Bukkit popular, the plugin community. As many of the people who made popular plugins were only 20 years old or even in their teens, they did not understand what this meant for their creations. Many feared they would have to remove their years of hard work and dedication, and for many of them, this was the end of their plugin coding life. Quitting development entirely out of fear it was all for nothing, as many felt the spirit of open source died that day. After the dust had settled, many people began arguing who was at fault here. Mojang were in their right not to allow Bukkit to be shut down, as it bought the project and allowed its own code to be used in their software. But on the other hand, the people who made Bukkit felt betrayed. Many of these people did not start their journey with Bukkit to earn money or become famous. They did it out of the love for Minecraft. They wanted to turn around this already masterpiece of a game and make it an even better experience online by making it more accessible and easier to set up, and enable the ability to customize your server to the point that it was your server, while you added the genes to make your server unique. Bukkit was a DNA backbone that allowed it to happen. But after all has been said, I don't think there was a good or bad here, as this wasn't a black and white situation. Instead, this was a situation where people blinded by passion for the project and the game they loved were misused by a company with poor communication. As the lights turned black on the remainder of Bukkit's community, there was hope. Spigot came out of the debacle on top as the new de facto server API. Being a fork of Bukkit, plugin developers could easily switch to Spigot and began developing new and even more powerful plugins on the improved software. And while this was a dark time for the Minecraft community, the future looked bright. Although sadly, that would not remain the case for long. But that's a story for another time. For now, I was Lunar, you were awesome, and I'll see you on the next one.